Hello, and I am so excited to be here with Jeanet Bathoorn, who has an Icelandic horse,
Sorry.
Icelandic horse, and has
Oh, yeah.
It's been a long-term client, and it was overdue that you come because you are the one person that I've seen that has made the most changes. Some of them before Corona, some of them afterwards, but you did them just in time. Changed your business model, so we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I always want to start. Yeah, I always want to start these interviews with you going back to pre-corona, but in your case, I actually want to go back to about a year ago, 11 months ago. We went on a cruise together. I went on your Freedom Entrepreneur cruise, and you made some decisions after the cruise about your business model. Can you start there? Because I think we have to start there before we go to the Corona changes.
Yeah. So it's a very easy decision. I loved the cruise. I loved doing like this whole trip. We had this amazing experience. And then when I left the ship, it was like, this is not my calling. It's not what I'm meant to do here.
Yeah.
So I will keep on cruising as soon as it's possible and safe again.
Yeah.
Probably with a few people, like some selected VIP clients. Yeah. I know some people who would love to join and dance and have fun.
But okay, come back to the decision, because I think this might be helpful for someone who watches. You just had this decision, like, this is not my calling, or was it a lingering thing even before you went on the cruise, in the planning phase? Or
it was, I think it was the 6 months before, like, actually leaving on this cruise, because it was like a mega project for me.
Yeah.
It was a risk. It was a financial risk. It was something that I took on without knowing if it would succeed, yes or no.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that I did, because it taught me to go back to my own zone of genius and to find a spot in your business that makes you happy.
Yeah.
That makes you like jump out of bed and like, okay, this is what I'm great at. And it's okay to try new things and say, well, actually, this is not my biggest zone of genius. I needed other people to like have it organized and planned, and I'm like, this is not me. No.
But for a time being, you maybe thought it was. So it was important for you to go after it and try it out.
Yeah, and the trip itself, so like the transformation on the ocean, always makes me happy. It's always like my happy place to be there.
Yeah.
And I thought that it would be automatically be the same for other people, like being on this ocean and like going from Europe to the Caribbean. Like, why wouldn't you love that?
Yeah.
It turns out that not everybody loves being on the ocean for such a long time. And they think this whole ship thing is like overwhelming or whatever.
Yeah. So basically your happiness was derived from the experience, but maybe less from organizing and marketing and selling and actually realizing that all the other people were not feeling the same way as you about it.
Exactly. And what I really like then I have to go back like 2 years before that. I really love to engage with my customers, get to know them for a longer period than 2 or 3 weeks. So I missed these deeper connections with a lot of them, a lot of the clients on the ship. And I mean, they were really welcome to join us, and I think they had a great time. But I like to work with people on their business for like 3 or 6 or even 12 months or even 2 years. I like that. It's what is, it's beneficial for me and also for them.
Yeah. But what I like about you sharing this is it is okay to chase something that you think is the right thing, and then
you have to. Otherwise, you will be sitting at home like, oh, I wished I could do that, and like, you never know if it's going to be a success, yes or no. You don't know.
No.
No,
You have to do it. You have to do it. Yeah. Yeah.
You have to do it.
And that's what I think is good. Yeah, I think it's good that you see it. Some people have regrets from doing something and say, oh, I shouldn't have spent all that time, spent all that money, maybe lose a whole year of my business or personal life chasing something that didn't turn out to be what I wanted. But you're saying that's okay. That's okay.
I think it's one of the biggest blessings you can have. Because and that's also when Corona hit. So when we came back in Europe, it was Christmas time. I didn't do a lot of it in December. Then it was January, February. I decided I want to go back to my Dutch audience.
Yeah.
I wanted to go international, but I felt going into the English language, I had to start all over again. I'm like, I am an expert. I have my 6-7 books.
Yeah.
Going back to the Dutch audience, I decided to write one book first. Then it turned out to be that I wrote 2 books. One of them is published already. It's here about masterminding. The other one is about online business models. And then I did what you did a few years ago, 100 podcasts in 100 days.
Yeah.
And it was my jumping point from now, 6 months later. It's like, okay, everything turns out exactly like I wished it turned out.
Yeah, like you hoped for.
That I hope for. I'm not launching at the moment, but there's like this rolling enrollment thing. People are just coming and they listen to the podcast and they're like, I would like to be in a group with you, or can you coach me one-on-one? Or so I changed my business model completely. It's very simple now. It's only a group or VIP coaching. That's it, in Dutch. And for me, it feels like, okay, everything that I've learned, I can use it now.
Yeah. You had your adventure, the cruise adventure, and you can now do it as a hobby or a bonus for a few select clients. Yeah.
I hope this time next year that hopefully it's safe again to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So take me back January, February. When exactly did you change your business model? I know you came off the ship deciding like, this is not it. Now I've tried it. I know I'm not feeling happy organizing all these things for all these people, and they're not feeling the same thing. So let me change my business model. When exactly did that happen for you?
Yeah. So in January, February, I thought, okay, I want to go back to the model of 2017, 2016, 2017, when I started this whole freedom entrepreneur movement or group or whatever.
Yeah.
Back then I had my groups, I had my big launches. I was in my happy place.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I could decide is going back to my happy place in which I can shine, I can be myself, in which I can find the time to write books, because I love writing books. It's a hobby, it's a habit. And that's the only thing that I've decided. So no focus on money, no focus on clients, or no focus on I have to succeed, or I need this 7-figure business, or nothing of that. Only going back to this happy place and being happy with the person that I am.
Yeah. Not trying to change yourself.
No, not trying to change, but learning from everything that I have been through, like the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
I made an amazing growth the last 5 years as a person, as like the coach that I am, the entrepreneur that I am. And I'm more and more very, very dedicated to my own rules.
Yeah. And that comes with experience. You know, someone who's starting out cannot say that or do that yet. Like everything you've done, both the things that didn't work out and those 2 things worked out, that all comes together and you come to your place where you say, this is my business model. So let's come to your business model. You started January, February, like a little bit before Corona hit. You had a business model, or no. So Corona helped you in some ways too.
Before Corona, I thought, okay, I want to go back to the model that I had in 2017, 2018. And that was mastermind groups for 12 months.
Yeah.
they are, of course, more expensive. And I had retreats and live events and things like that. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go back to that model. And actually, I had 1 or 2 sign-ups already. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And then there was this period of like Corona. I did my podcast. I didn't focus a lot on like filling up my group. I didn't launch because I wanted to reclaim my position in the Netherlands again, because people forgot about me. I was invisible for 2 years. Almost. So I was like, okay, I have to reclaim my position, be all over the place. And that's the period that Corona hit. So then I decided, okay, everything is going to be 100% online.
Yeah.
And I want groups with a very high frequency. So we meet weekly for 1 hour, a smaller group, and smaller period of time. Like you can start for 3 months.
Yeah. And that's exactly the experience many made, that 12 months was a little bit too long for many when Corona hit. Yeah.
Yeah, and also because the whole concept of being in a mastermind group is not so known in the Netherlands. Like people have heard about it, but they are absolutely not ready to join a mastermind group for 20,000 euros or whatever. It's too new.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, okay, it's 3 months. It's a very, for me, like a low investment. It's only 750 euros. And you can try out this whole mastermind thing.
Yeah.
But I don't have to, I didn't create any content. It's like, okay, you show up live, you ask questions, you fill out your accountability report, and there's a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And that's more or less it. So it was an experiment again.
Yeah.
You just have to try. And the thing is, it works like a charm, because after 3 months, the first group is done now, and 75% of them say, okay, we are going to stay in this group. So another 3 months or even 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So basically you started with these groups, minimum commitment 3 months, many continue. You could work with your clients for 12 months or longer, depending on how long they stay. Yeah. And that's we would call that your signature program right now.
Right now it's a signature program, and it's very simple. So my word for this year is simplicity.
Yes.
They can add on VIP months if they want to. So if they want individual coaching, it's just an add-on. They have to pay extra, and it's a choice. It's theirs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, it works. It's like, it's very, would you say that? I mean, it's very understandable for everybody.
It's easy to explain. And that's always the best, to sell such a product that is easy to explain.
It's easy to explain. And I did discover a new framework for my freedom entrepreneurs.
Oh, you need to share that.
Yeah, I think you were there when I had my first framework. So now I made a framework consisting out of 2 rings. They are like, so there's an inner ring and an outer ring. The inner ring is about like the 3 things you can learn, like what's your business model, how to write your content, how to become an expert, how to write expert content, and how to sell online. Yeah. So how to do a webinar, how to do a challenge, and things you can learn. But the real breakthrough for me is in the outer circle. Like, what about your thoughts, your mindset, your identity? What about your habits? What about your behavior? And what about strategies and goal setting? That's like all on the outside. But I know, and you know as well, if you want to be successful, you have to work on the outside. All the other things you can learn them. It's like learning.
Knowledge is easy. Execution is the hard part.
Yeah, but execution is here.
Yeah, like you need to actually want to succeed, or overcoming your demons if something's holding you back.
If you ask people, everyone wants to succeed. Everybody wants to double their income or their revenue. Everybody wants to be a millionaire, but then nothing happens.
They don't want to do it.
Well, not doing, but also not thinking, or sabotaging themselves, or
1,000 ways to do that.
Oh, there's like 100 ways to sabotage. Yeah. And that's where I focus on in my coaching now. It's like, okay, you can learn this. I have this whole academy. There's a lot of videos. They're all in Dutch. That's why I like going back to the Dutch language.
Yeah.
So watch those videos, how to build a sales page, how to write a blog, etc. Just watch them. But then is like the fear of, oh, I have to do my first Facebook Live, or how to do a webinar, or can I do a masterclass online, things like that. It's like, okay, now we are working.
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful. So you basically repositioned yourself with the podcast launch, 100 episodes in 100 days, since I gave you the inspiration for it. And did you know I'm talking to Mark Schaeffer soon? Ooh, I have to tell him that.
My love.
Well, actually, Sigrun Live, the live event that I do once a year in Zurich, Switzerland, is obviously not happening now, but we just spontaneously decided to open it up. And our keynote speaker is no other than
Mark Schaeffer.
Yes.
I love him. He's good. He is good.
He is good. And he gave us this idea, doing something a bit crazy. It was in his book, Known. I read about this guy who was unsuccessful in business, and then he did 200 YouTube videos in 200 days. And that's how I got the idea for 100 podcast episodes in 100 days. Yeah. I did it back 2017, and you did it now. What was your experience?
That is wonderful. Because, I mean, I know you did it, and I know when you started, and I know where we had the inspiration to start the podcast. But it's like the very simple sentence to say, like, I'm going to do 100 podcasts in 100 days. And I said the same in February. And I created this whole system, Excel sheet, etc. And thank God I had a good, an editor in my team, because otherwise you can't manage. And then, like, if you start, it's all exciting and it's new. But then all of a sudden it's like, okay, this is episode 44, 45, 46. Yeah. What now? What's next?
Yes.
So I had to be very creative in terms of topics. I repurposed some of my online trainings. I'm like, okay, this is quite a good training. So it's a podcast with another intro, etc.
Yeah, I did that too. I took my webinars, my blog posts.
That's everything. That's it. Yeah, me too. And then in April, I thought, well, how good would it be to talk with authors, like people.
I think I saw those posts. Yes. Yeah, I saw you do that.
Nice. That was so nice. So, and that was for me, like people who wrote business books.
Yeah.
So I put out some social media posts on LinkedIn and Facebook. So can you recommend some authors that would like to be as a guest in my podcast show? And I within 10 days, I had 80 people on my list.
Yeah.
It was amazing because people love to talk about their book.
Yeah.
And it was a big success. And then I was like, okay, so I have to find a theme.
Yes.
In this case, an author.
And then you get so many topics and then it becomes easy.
And I don't have to find the guest because other people are recommending each other to, you can get on Jeanet's podcast. Yeah. So I did authors, I did podcasters. A few weeks ago, I started with the coaching on air. So people can send a question to me and I'm like, okay, this is a good question for a lot of people. Yeah. So I coach them and then the whole conversation is in a podcast. And that is really, really helpful for a lot of people. Real good feedback on that.
Yeah, beautiful. What did you learn about yourself?
So I learned that I can pull through. I am I have this steadiness of achieving things, like writing books, doing this podcast. Because last year I was like, why can't I organize a cruise for 100 people? Why is it draining my energy?
Yeah.
It was not my happy place. But now I know that I can work hard and with a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And because I'm very curious, I think curiosity is a good sign for entrepreneurs.
And as an interviewer, that's the best.
I love to do the interviews.
Yes.
I love to do them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I learned that, and that's of course for you the same. people actually love to listen to the things that I talk about, or like the guests that I interview. It's like I think I had my first 10,000, 11,000 downloads. I'm like, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
10,000 times in ears and in the Dutch language, which is like a small thing. And
Yeah.
amazing things happen now, because now people are asking me, can I be on your show?
Yes.
And well, it could be a business model as well in the future. I don't know.
That's a
Could
possibility. Or have someone advertise on your show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for example, coaching on air could be a product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then after 100 episodes, did you decide to do weekly or
Bi-weekly, like 2 per week.
2 a week? Yeah.
I'm at 136 now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still going strong.
Yeah. I think I went down to 3 first, and then 2, and then 1.
I think it's easier to do 100 and 100 days, because then you're like drawn all in.
Yeah.
Now it's something that you have to do extra.
Yeah, it's you have to make it a part of your routine,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I do prefer the interviews, because I
Yes.
do prepare them. I read the books or whatever. But it's easier to do an interview episode than a complete solo for me.
Absolutely. I do less and less solos for obvious reasons. It can take hours to prepare a solo episode. People don't really realize how much work it takes. Of course, if you have some spontaneous topic, it may just take me a few bullet points and I can talk about it. But those episodes tend to be longer. I like to have them short, but then you need to prepare them better.
Yeah, you have to prepare them well. And
Yeah.
sometimes I take like content from my own book. It's not that I read them word by word, but I just see the chapter and I talk about the thing that is in the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the energy of an interview. I like it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and people, I mean, that probably they ask you the same. Like, does a podcast need to have a format, or is there an ideal length? And when I started, I was like, I don't care. It's my playground. I
Yes.
just want to have fun with it. So I have episodes. I think the shortest is 7 minutes, and the longest is 2 hours. And it's a gift for you.
It doesn't matter. It's the content that matters. Yeah. Yeah. I would think it would be helpful to have some project like this in the middle of a pandemic and shutdown. And how did that, how did you feel? What did you think as this was going on and you were in the transformation of your business, basically pivoting almost before, but also as a result of the pandemic?
Yeah. Do you want an honest answer?
Of course.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I didn't love the whole lockdown, because I know it's harmful for businesses, but like no obligations. There's nobody you have to visit. You don't have any visitors coming to your house. I mean, and I live in like a very nice environment, so I could walk with the dog and go to the horses. So I wasn't trapped in like an apartment or whatever. But I loved the silence. I loved it. So for me, it was like I could be ultra productive. There were no meetings, there were no live events, everything got canceled. I had time. I had a lot of time all of a sudden. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So you saw it as a gift or a blessing for your business and yourself?
It was a blessing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's very wise to not fight to those changes, but always say, okay, this is a blessing. How can I use it for my own good, or for my business, or for my family, or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, we cannot change this whole situation.
No, we can't.
So
why fight it? Take advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, like as an online entrepreneur, it's a blessing that people finally understand that you can host groups, you can have masterminds, you can do your one-on-one coaching. Everything can be done online.
Yeah.
And like last year, we still had to explain that it's effective and that it's helpful and useful. And now people are like, yeah, okay, it's doable.
And everyone knows Zoom. How good is that?
and everyone knows how to handle Zoom. Yeah. And of course, I miss my live moments. Of course, I miss my live events and my trips, etc. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're probably heading in another shutdown. What do you think about that?
I think the Netherlands will have a I hope we will not have this complete lockdown that we had.
Mm-hmm.
We will have like a kind of lockdown. So, for example, students until 18, they still go to school now, or they started going back to school in September again. And I think within a few weeks, they will be home again.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
But that's no change for your business?
No, my kids are old enough. I mean, my
Yeah.
youngest is 16. If they're 3 years old, you cannot work if they're constantly at home. It's impossible. So,
it's been very bad for women. Women have had we've had a few steps back in gender equality because of the pandemic. The question is, what can we do to change that?
well, I don't know if it's really only bad for women, because like a lot of my friends, or like also the younger people, a lot of men also had to work at home.
Yeah.
I mean, and my husband, he works in a hospital, so he had to work overtime. So he was gone from like 7 in the morning to 7 in the evening or whatever. But I think it's very. No, let's put it this way. I also know a lot of men who were happy with the pandemic situation because they have spent time with their kids for 3 months.
Yeah.
And I hope that people realize, okay, we can have other lives. It doesn't have to be that you leave when it's dark outside and you come back when it's dark again.
No.
It doesn't have to be. So I don't know if it's bad only for women.
No, but there is less research papers published by women. There is an actual effect seen on the, not just economy, but let's say education or anything, and eventually the economy, where women have taken on a bigger burden in the pandemic than men. Yeah. And it's great if people have been able to balance both, with both parents at home and take equal care of their kids. But unfortunately, that's not happening everywhere.
No,
not everywhere in the world.
Yeah. I know. And I mean, if we talk about situations in the world, this whole world needs change anyway. So we can deal with Corona as well. It's like we have a lot to deal with.
We have a lot of other issues.
And, so I think it's all here for the same reason, because the world needs change, and it's time for women especially to step up and say, we want change.
Yeah,
we just want it, and we don't want all these crazy guys running the world. No. As if there is no generations behind them or whatever. We just want a nice, peaceful world in which we can safely walk the streets, and in which my daughter can safely walk the street. So there's a lot more.
Yeah, let's not just hope, but I am sure this change will come.
Yeah, let's keep on talking about it, and raise your voice well. That's the only thing we can do.
Stand up and speak up, even if your voice is shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeanet, it's always a pleasure to connect.
Yes.
Makes us both very happy. And I want to say congratulations on your podcast, on your 2 books. 2020 has already been amazing year for you, and we still have a couple of months left. So
we have a couple of months left. So
yeah.
Okay, I'm on a roll now. It's like,
yeah. Is there another book, or what's coming up before end of the year?
In 2021, I'll have another book. Yes.
Yes, of course.
It's already in my plan.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll start a second podcast, but not alone, but together with someone else. With another famous business coach here in the Netherlands. You know her, Simona.
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to start a podcast together. She's like in this whole spiritual world, and I'm like very down to earth. That's what people think. But in reality, see we get along very well, and there's like a lot of similarities between the way we think and the way we do our business. That's what we want to explain. So there's more projects coming, and I'm like, okay, it's going forward now.
Yeah, and it's flowing, and you are in your happy place, and that's what we all want to be. Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you so much for sharing, Jeanet. It's been a pleasure, and we'll surely connect soon again, and hopefully meet in person. Not too late. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening.